This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store, Forged Irish Stout, freebets.com. Delighted to be joined in central London, London Bridge with Frank Smith. Just been treated to a very, very nice breakfast. How are things there? How are we doing?
All good, mate. All good. It's the sun is shining and it's not raining for once, so it's quite nice to be in London.
Absolutely, mate. The summer is coming thick and fast, so a good time to be alive. Just I suppose firstly, just to touch on, looking back on the Sheffield show last weekend, a great performance with Dalton Smith, puts himself well in line for a massive fight coming up, so must have been delighted with that performance on Saturday night.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I think we all believed in Dalton Smith getting the win in there, but in the fashion he did, especially after a long time out of the ring as well. We had a long period with the cuts out of the ring. He went in there against Zepeda. Many people thought it was a step too far for him, but to do what he did in the fashion he did, spectacular, and it just shows the levels he's at and where he can get to.
How exciting is it now for Dalton with the levels he's at? Wow, now I know there's talk of the Azim fight, but potentially pushing on world honours, especially maybe towards the back end of the year. Yeah,
100%. Look, the Adam Azim fight's a massive fight if it can be made, but at the same time, we're not going to let that get in the way of Dalton Smith keeping his career on track and going to the levels we believe he can get to. He can be a world champion. He showed he went in there, took a huge step up there on Saturday night, a massive performance, and those big fights are out there to be made for him, 100%.
Eddie said, Grant Smith said, I don't know if Dalton said it or not. He said an Adam Azim fight would be sort of step down of a level. With the level that Dalton's operating at now, do you believe that would be a step down in levels?
Yeah, 100%. Look, he's gone in there against Zepeda and done what he's done that many top level operators couldn't do in that style. Adam Azim's a brilliant fighter, but he's not on the level of Dalton Smith. He's not on the level of, he couldn't go in there and do what Dalton Smith did against Zepeda. But it's a big fight, and a fight we'd love to make. So sometimes those fights make sense, but at the same time, if that's not the fight, he's not going to step back in level. We want to keep building him and moving forward, and there's big fights to be made.
Absolutely. I suppose we'll move on to topical news. Last night. That's right. No, it's fine. Last night. No, it's fine. We don't want to repeat that. Yeah.
Frank Smith, I have to pay a lot of money to him.
Yeah.
A lot of money. Look how tan he is. Look how handsome he is.
Thank you.
Interrupted by Gareth there. Last night, obviously the news came out of the appeal by UKAD and the British Boxing Board of Control being successful. I suppose the situation now, was you shocked by that news, and I suppose what happens now?
Look, the truth is, it's not something we can talk about. It's an ongoing confidential legal matter, hence why there's been no comment from any of the parties involved. We're not one of the parties involved in that. Obviously, UKAD, BBFC, NADP and Conor, but it's ongoing, and as soon as there's more that can be spoken about, it will be.
I suppose there's this massive dent to the future, the plans that you may have had of Conor Benn with this verdict.
Again, it's not something I can go into detail on, unfortunately. I know everyone wants answers to questions, and it would be so much easier if people could talk openly about things, but right now it's an ongoing matter that needs to be dealt with, and then once people are able to talk about it, they will.
I understand it's obviously a hard thing for you to talk about, but just literally just sort of just keep on going on about it. Just reading a tweet from Chris McKenna from a quote from Conor Benn in February that they said that they don't want to sit down and look at the evidence. We have asked on multiple occasions to sit down with UKAD, but they've expressed zero interest in the evidence. I will win the hearing and the case will be finished, and I will still show them the evidence. Now in a position where the appeal has won, I suppose how does it, from Conor saying that to now, how does it sort of get to that position?
Again, still an ongoing matter. You can ask the question in 100, and I'm not trying to be rude, but I just can't give you any more. Is the truth. As soon as we can talk about it and think people can talk about it, they will. But right now, it's not something that any more detail can go into.
But how long do you think that process will take then?
I don't know. I didn't think we'd be here 18 months later or whatever we are. So I don't know. I'm hopeful that it's been a long period of his life and his career taken up by this. But let's hopefully we can get him back in a UK ring as soon as possible.
Just a final one on that topic. Have you had much conversation with the board regarding it?
No. We're not. As I say, we're not a party involved in that ongoing legal matter. It's between Conor and the various entities I mentioned there. But so no further right now.
Moving on, topics regarding, I suppose, that came out this weekend, the 5v5, the weights have been announced. Two heavyweights, light heavyweight, featherweight and middleweight. Sort of looking forward now to getting the ball rolling of this big card on June the 1st.
100%. It's a massive show, and look at the interaction it's got just announcing the weights, let alone any more details as to who's fighting. So it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad we could get it done. It's going to be a massive night on June 1st, obviously the 5v5 and headlined by Bivol Beterbiev, that undisputed fight.
I was going to say, for so long this is what everyone's always wanted. Well, I suppose Frank was the first one to come up with it, Sonny Edwards as well. So good to sort of get this over the line, have that sort of competitive edge regain, I suppose, between the two of you.
Yeah, 100%. And we want to win. We both want to win on June 1st. We want to pick the best possible fighters to go in there and get the wins, and that's going to be the focus for us. So it's going to be interesting because we'll maybe go back to the roots of, before we weren't talking. Maybe we'll go a bit fierce again for June 1st.
And His Excellency also talked about a big show at Wembley Stadium sometime in September with another potential 5v5. I suppose when His Excellency says things, they do usually end up happening. So to show that he's open to plans outside of Saudi Arabia as well is a positive thing too.
100%. Look, they want to create massive nights, and a show at Wembley, involving Riyadh season will be huge. So let's see. June 1st is the focus first and foremost. Let's get that get that all announced and out there. But a massive night in September is something we very much look forward to.
Another thing I did also want to talk about was the Japan tournament, obviously getting postponed. Ideally, what are the reasons for it, and when can we see it again?
Yeah, look, operational matters outside of our control, and sort of led by our local partners there. The aim is to get that up and running again for the summer, and we're working through that now. I was in meetings yesterday coming up with the solutions, so hopefully in the coming days we'll be able to make an announcement.
Frank, thank you for taking time to speak to me. Always good to catch up with you, mate, and yeah, cheers for the breakfast was very nice this morning, mate. Thank you, cheers.